Greetings, everyone. I'm Bryon Smith, and welcome to Enlighten, Empowered, Evolve. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith that everybody's doing well, and because everything is unfolding perfectly, exactly as it should, even if we don't see it at first. It is. I am very excited yet again today because I'm connected with another amazing person, beautiful person, Mandy Gatlin, extraordinary woman that I'm excited by reading her bio here. I'm so excited to get this started. And before she talks to us and tells us about her, whatever she wants to talk about, her gifts, passions, just whatever, accomplishments, goals, whatever, I'm going to tell you a bit about her. So Mandy Gatlin is a writer, artist, empowerment, and self-development coach. She works with clients from all backgrounds to help them identify their truth path and then courageously walk it. She recently sold her house and has taken to the open road with her husband as they embrace following their happiness and desires along the way. Wow, exciting. Mandy shares her journey online through her writing and art and loves coaching others in how they can manifest a life that lights them up and then take the steps to align with their desires. Combining her life experiences along with her background as a business owner, Mandy offers tools and techniques to help others step into their true self with ease and confidence. Mandy shares her journey with self-empowerment and entrepreneurship on her website, and we have that. So that's beautiful, and that's Be Passionate and Prosper.com, which we're gonna share that again at the end of the segment, and also this will be put up in the description of the video when this video is uploaded to YouTube. We're gonna make sure that everybody's able to see that beautiful website and contact you or get involved with your beautiful purpose. How are you doing today, Amanda Gatlin?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, this is what I've been feeling lately to say, and this has become sort of a narrative on my show in which I have to express how grateful I am that you're here, that how precious I believe time is, although I read certain books that remind me that time is an illusion. Okay, I get it. But I believe that time is one of our most precious assets besides our life, our health, or whatever, because this particular moment right here, we're creating history. We'll never get this moment back again. We're the youngest that we'll ever be. We're the oldest that we've ever been. So, you know, not to focus on age or anything, but at the same time, it's just, I'm just trying to highlight how beautiful and important and exclusive this moment is. And I appreciate you sharing some of your time, some of your valuable time here on my show.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So let's get right into it. You know what stands out to me the most? I mean, I don't want to get out of order, because I want to talk about, you know, how you help your clients. But what sticks out to me, and I just have to be honest, you sold your house and you took to the open road. Can you elaborate a bit on how you and your wonderful husband came to this?
Oh, that's a book.
Yes, I mean, if you could just
It's
give
funny.
me just a little peek inside,
I'm gonna
just a small
try.
peek.
I'll try to condense that down.
Yes.
And that's so funny because everyone, and I do the coaching and I do art and I do all these things, but everyone right now, everything I keep hearing from them is like, we want to know about your journey. We want to know about why you guys did this. You know, they keep asking that.
Right.
And I think it's because it's something different, you know, to do than the norm. And that is why we did it. It's because a lot of the signs that we were given, we're big believers, you know, in the universe provides you with these signs. A lot of these signs told us it's good to go, like just go. And so that's the boiled down version. But what ended up happening was before this year, so last year, we started going on these walks during the pandemic. And we did that because I had been hit by vertigo a couple of times early before the pandemic came up, which was really interesting. I don't know if I was sensing, you know, a shift in the energy or something, but I was getting hit multiple times by vertigo.
Wow.
And to regain your balance, a tip that they give you, like the physical therapist gives you, is to walk. You know, try to walk so that get your balance back. And so my husband, so sweet, he would come with me on these walks, and we started doing them just very small walk around the block, and we would build it up over time. Well, what would happen was, you know, when you go on a walk or you get together as a couple, you start venting to each other, you know.
Right.
So he would vent to me about all the things going on at work for him, and I would vent to him about, you know, being scared about this situation I was in. And then I don't know, maybe about a month into that, I picked up this book. It was a law of attraction book.
Right.
And there were practices in the book. And one of the practices said to spend a little time in your day getting excited, you know, about something that you desire.
Right.
Spend time doing that. You know, like
Yes.
let yourself be excited in that moment and feel it for minutes. Don't just think about, oh, I want this and that's that.
Right.
No, spend some time like getting into the picture and really developing it and getting excited.
The excitement as if it's already so.
Yes.
Yes. I just
Literally
listened to
being.
yes.
Yes.
I just
Yes.
listened to a segment earlier today. I forget who it was by, but was it talking about the same thing? So wow.
Yes. So
it's not a coincidence that you're saying this now.
No, I know. So it's amazing. I mean, I shared this with him on one of our walks, and I said, you know, I think let's try this out, you know. So we picked something, you know, that was maybe a fun thing to visualize, and something that came to us was traveling. And we didn't know how that would become because of the pandemic. So, you know, we kind of thought, well, let's picture what would be a way, you know, that we could do this. And an RV came up as an idea. We had rented an RV the year prior and liked doing it. So this was kind of a next step, you know. It was like, okay, let's start visualizing traveling in an RV. And it was amazing because we could tell energetically in ourselves when we would go on these walks, and we would start off venting, and
Right.
then we would stop ourselves and go, let's get into our vision. And it was like we were hopping a timeline.
Right.
It was like we were going from one universe to another universe.
Wow.
And yeah, and we would get excited, and I think also a trick about this was that we were walking forward. So like the movement of walking had some play in this, you know, because we were moving.
Yes.
So the energy was moving. And
yes.
So we would do this. We would get into the vision. I got so into it that I got this vision of us sitting in an RV, drinking coffee, having breakfast, looking out and looking at nature, right?
Yes.
And that was the vision I held on to, and would just like let myself feel it and get excited.
And here you are.
And months later, like it got bigger. The vision got bigger and bigger. And then we got to that point where we said, let's go look at RVs. Let's sit in them, and we did. And then it became this possibility.
Right.
So,
If I may elaborate just a bit, just because this excites me, and I'll tell you here's why. As I've evolved in my journey, and I'm so thankful and become more aware, a story like you just told me before, and I know I'm just being transparent, would have probably, like, I wouldn't have understood it. And I don't have to understand it. But what I'm saying is, what I appreciate now is that where I am consciously,
yeah,
no matter what story someone tells me or what testimony, they're following what's in their heart or in their soul. So it doesn't have to make sense to me, but I am just excited about it. And now I look at things totally different, because there's been some things that would be considered strange and, that I have followed and still am following, to make decisions, and has taken me on different turns in life. And now I know, as long as you're following your inner self, your voice, the God in you, the universe, that's all that matters. And I just want to thank you for sharing that, because no matter what, it takes a lot of faith and courage to step out and do that. And that really shows the universe that you are embracing, what the universe is unfolding for you. And there's so much power in that. And I believe that everything is going to continue to just open up, as you move forward, because you're taking these steps. And you already know this, but just several books I've read by, authors such as Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard, and just a bunch of other ones. They all attest to that same type of thing, what you just shared there, as to why, I already pretty much knew it was something that was given to you via the universe. I already knew it, but I just wanted to hear, because to put it honestly, the more crazy and wild it may seem to other people, that's just it still makes sense, and it just tells people what I'm trying to say too, is it just tells people that no matter what, you can receive messages or feelings or whatever, and it might seem crazy, and you might not know all the answers at first. You might not know. Just take that step and do it.
Yeah, we knew nothing.
Yeah.
We knew nothing. I mean, we didn't know about RVs. This has all been a learning experience for us. And it was a huge leap for us. I mean, my husband, in March, got word from his work that they wanted everyone to get the vaccine. And he was a no, because he has family members that have had blood clots. And
Right.
I was a no. And what was funny was,
Yeah, me too.
the company basically gave him his green light to quit. I mean, we were hanging on. That was the last thing that we had this RV. We were like, let's go. We felt it.
Right.
And that and our house, there were the two things. But what ended up happening was that when that happened, we kind of said, oh, wow, like, this is when you really get into your values. And this is what I teach my clients. I mean, I don't want to shift it into that too quickly, but I'm living and breathing what I help my people do. It's like all about, like you're saying, honoring your desires, getting into your truth. And a lot of people, they don't give that any time of day. They just think, I've got to do this, I've got to do that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, oftentimes, people, and I've been guilty of it too, at some points in my life. We just do what what's been programmed in here to do, or what we think is safe, or what everybody else is doing, or what we have defined as the normal, just that, we don't step outside. And real growth to me and occurs when you step out of your comfort zone, for one. And number two, like you said, people don't follow their truth. It's like they follow other people's truths, or the truth that somebody else's truth, or the truth that they believe is the truth that has been given to them. They don't really quiet themselves down enough to listen to their own truth. Everybody has their own truth that is given to them from the universe if they quiet it down. And it's not like a one size fits all thing. I mean, so.
No, there's many different ways that you can, get in touch with that.
Right.
And that I love doing that with people, helping them see their way,
Right.
of doing that. And for us, it was like, I'm more like the risk taker. I've had a
Right.
business before, all of this. And so I knew what it was like to take big risks and, to see the reward from that. But my husband was more like working the 9 to 5, a corporate job for many, many years.
Wow.
And so it was like for me to sit next to him and really like hold space for him while he went through this transition, because for him, this was a big, his brain
Yes,
exploding.
of course.
I mean,
Of
for
course.
him to take that kind of leap of faith, to quit a great paying job,
yes.
yeah, with corporate, and to say, what, this isn't aligned for me, and to stand up for that for himself. Now, there were a lot of people, at his work. We had group meetings, and there were a lot of people at his work that they ended up getting it and they didn't want to, strongly didn't want to. Women who were wanted to have more kids, had questions about it still. And this was kind of when the vaccines came out, and we were kind of like unsure, about the whole thing. So it was very, very new.
No, I'm still unsure.
Yeah, I know. But it was still very unsure, and it was like pressure, everyday pressure from them. And that just, at some point you kind of go, okay, if there's this much pressure and I'm feeling a strong no with that,
right.
You can try to fight it, like you can, and that was a thought for us. It was like, do we hire lawyers? Do we go that route? And that is everyone that we told this to, everyone said for us to fight it. Right. Everyone. And we had to, again, get in tune with, what do we want, out of this? Do we want to spend the next 3 to 5 years fighting this corporation?
Right.
Or do we want to go have fun?
Right.
Do we want to make our vision come to life? And this is the thing. It's like there's all this constant pressure and what people believe you should do. And it's around you all the time. And you really have to do the work of centering yourself, asking yourself, what do I want? What is my vision? Get excited about it again. Right. Let that excitement build and take you forward, rather than, and to me, it's always that choice. It's always a choice between your fear and doing things and creating things from your fear, or you can create from your vision. And that's absolutely, that's, and I believe choice.
Whatever direction you decide to go in, if you really believe in it, that's going to be the successful way to go, no matter what. That if that's the way that I'm learning to think, no matter what. So I don't think when I do something, oh, was that a mistake? No, I go with it. No matter what, this is working, and this is going to work, and it is working, no matter what. And because oftentimes it's just those those old limiting beliefs that creep in and start to give you the doubt and the fear. And another thing I was going to say is that's just so awesome. I am thankful yet again that I keep being exposed and made aware of similar narratives such as yours and your, especially with your husband, because there's so many people throughout my journey that I have met that have been working, you know, very successful corporate jobs, lawyers, accountants, and but they weren't happy. So, I mean, they said they were making a ton of money, but they were missing. There was a hole, and I could tell. And they stopped and did other things. Like some stopped making, you know, making all this money and went and got a food truck. And that's what they're doing now.
That's
And they
so
said
awesome.
they've always had a passion. They wanted to have their own restaurant and cook. And they said they're much happier now. You know, one gentleman has a food truck in Hawaii now and lives in a small apartment. And he said he's so happy just because he's following his purpose, his bliss. He sits out, parks his truck by the ocean, gets to sit by the ocean, see people smile, serve them what he likes doing. And he said it's less money, but he would not go back to what he was doing before for no amount of money. If
and
they,
it might even be more work, you know, but
right,
because they love the work, they jump
right,
out of bed feeling excited and like
right.
they may just feel like, okay, this is my day and I love it, you
I
know.
can,
And yeah, my husband, though, I can remember it's a day and night transition for him. I can remember the anxiety he would get on Sundays because Monday was coming. And this,
right,
I hear that from so many people, you know,
people,
that work. Yeah, that work. And they get that anxiety, you know, that, oh God, Monday's coming, you know.
right. And at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm not trying to encourage everybody in order to be happy, quit your job, because if
Oh
you're
no.
working a job that is fulfilling, or if that's
Yes.
not what your truth is, then you have to follow yours. It might be something else,
Yes.
something outside of that, or
Yes.
that connects with you staying at your job at the same time, you
Definitely.
know. But I just commend the people that are able to take that, that have the courage and the faith and just
Yeah. I
whatever it
think
takes to be able to
I
do that.
I totally agree with you. I think you can love your job and you can feel passionate about what you do. And
Right,
I think it's good to check in, you know, like there's
right,
that to me is a sign. If like on a Sunday you're feeling awful because you got to go in Monday,
right.
that's what I mean by a sign. You know,
And see,
that's a
and,
great example. It's like, ask yourself, sit down with
right,
yourself and say, yeah, is it time? Have I lost my passion for this thing? Is it time to evolve? Now that's a big thing, the word evolve. And
evolve.
I
Yes,
love that you're all about that, because that's been the word for us. I mean, it's and when you let yourself evolve, how fast you can evolve. I mean,
right,
sometimes I'm like, whoa, 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 you know, because
right.
once
Yeah,
we started letting go, he let go of his job, we let go of our house. It was like fast. And
yes,
at some point you're like, okay, okay, okay.
yeah.
Slow
Oh,
down a little bit,
it's
you know?
really happening. Yeah. And
Yeah.
see, I would be willing to, and without even knowing your entire, your story in its entirety, I would be willing to say that you and your husband have been having some type of feeling in regards to this for quite some time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It didn't just
It's
appear
been a
overnight.
build.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a build up. And this
Right.
is the thing I think that's the most challenging for people, is that you do get these signs along the way, and you know, you start noticing them, and then you start trying to you what happens is you focus on those, you know, you focus on the problems. And then we got into talking about manifesting and the law of attraction. And when you focus on the problem, then you start trying to fix the problem, you
Right.
know? So a lot of times he and I would have conversations because he wasn't having the best time at his job. and we would get into trying to fix that, and make that better. And it 9 times out of 10, it didn't matter. It didn't resolve it. It was because we were trying to fix the problem rather than getting into a space of, well, what do we desire now?
Right. The solution, actually focusing on the solution.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
The real root solution,
Yeah, right.
Let yourself evolve into this thing that you don't know anything about. It's okay. You'll learn as you go, so that was the big difference. But for us, yes, there were many years and this was a process of us learning. I think that's the beauty in this, is give yourself grace.
And the beauty, you said another key thing is it's like basically pointing to the fact that you don't have to know the whole every step. You just take that initial step and just go in that direction, and things will open up. Each stone will illuminate itself, and I've seen that time and time again. Yeah, and I can vouch for that myself, because I've taken steps and I didn't know. The first thing, before the mindset I had before was I had to try to have all the answers and figure everything out before I took a step. And then I got to a point where I said, no, I don't have to know all the steps. I'm trusting in the universe, really, and this is real. These messages and signs that I'm getting, because the universe will talk to you. And that's another thing I was going to say about your email that we have in common. My favorite number is 333. And even when I go to the gas station, I always leave the pump on all threes.
Yeah.
Like whatever the number, like if I put $50, I'll put $50, $53.33. And I leave it like that. And I know somebody is coming behind and seeing that, and they know.
That's amazing.
There was a point, it hasn't happened as much lately, but there was a point where I was seeing that number everywhere. And I was like, the universe is messing around with me. And when I would tell certain,
we just went to lunch today, and the card they give you to put on the table, it was 333 on the card.
Yeah. I get behind license plates that have 3 3s in a row on it all the time. And just, so I get it. That's your angel number right there. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. So when you work with clients, could you tell me how does that work? Like when you work with people, what's usually, I mean, maybe it's not the same scenario each time, but could you give me an example, like of what happens? They come to you and they ask, and they're ask what? I mean, what are they seeking?
A lot of people find me either through a friend or family member. They get referred to me. Some people find me through the internet, and they connect with my energy. It's like they say, I saw your picture and I kind of read what you're about, but I'm so curious, I need to know more. So it's something that ignites in them, and I really feel like the true work I end up doing is just keeping people centered on their path. It's like helping them to like see their path again. They probably got glimpses of it, when they were a kid, and then maybe later down the road they did here and there, but they just kept going, and so what I end up doing a lot of times is let's do the work to get you centered, on your path. Eliminate some of the things that might be pulling you off your path, because there's distractions, there's people, there's beliefs, there's all that stuff. So I make them aware of that. I do a lot of meditation work with people.
So love meditating.
I've been trained. I have teachers that I've worked with all over the world, and spent a lot of time doing that kind of work. And so I use that as a tool to help people center, and they love it. They use it as a practice, and then I will work with them for a little while, and then sometimes let them go, do their thing, expand, And then sometimes they come back because they're like, I don't know what happened, but I'm like, oh.
I need to
So
recharge.
yeah, like, let's get me back.
Right.
So that's when we'll revisit. And a lot of times that's when they're going through another little up level or like a little shift, in their life. And they're ready, to work on that and then integrate it and implement it. So
Right. And
yeah,
you know what's beautiful too is that, you know, oftentimes when we're seeking basically help, you know, we're not sure oftentimes where to go. And like you said, people are reading your energy and things like that. But what I'm seeing too is just an example of your life and how you're taking steps, trusting the universe. That personally, that to me would be all the convincing I need,
yeah,
because for someone to be able to do that and to live it as they're speaking it, like what you're doing now, that right there would just, and that's why I'm glad I'm happy, thankful that you came on this platform. People can see that, and wow. And that right
yeah.
there speaks volumes. I mean, it's not like you're just you've taken this course and you're just I mean, you
No.
might have taken some courses, but
Oh, I've
I'm
taken
saying not,
lots of courses, but
yeah. I'm
yeah,
not, I'm saying
I know what you're
there's
saying
nothing
though.
wrong with
Yeah.
courses, but on top of that, you're actually putting in the courses, what you've learned, what you've gained into action, into your life. And that right there is the ultimate example and testimony when you're helping people to align in themselves,
Yeah.
because look what you're doing. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's real.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's real life, experience. And then just
Yes, that's what I
seeing,
wanted to say, experience.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And just a lot of people say that too. They like the authenticity, when I work with them. I like you, I just want people to feel okay being themselves,
Right.
and to let their life flow. And then they realize how much of a relief that is, for
Right.
them, and how they can have peace living that way. So yeah, it's just holding that kind of space for people. And I think the right people resonate. I always trust that. I'm always in awe of like the customers, clients, the people, the families. I work with families, even the people who find me.
Right.
And then I know right away, like after talking with them, I'm like, I know exactly why you're here, even though they may be sitting there like, I have no idea why I'm here with you.
Right. Yes.
you know but I know it's like when I hear them, I'm able to kind of like tune in and feel where they are. A lot of times they're outside of themselves,
Right.
they're just, what I mean by that is like they're listening to what their friends or their
Right.
family's saying, or they're
Right.
listening to what the media is saying, or like,
Yes.
they're very much being influenced by everything else. and and
Like most are. Yeah.
yeah, and so
And
they just,
you're intuitive, so you're able to figure that out.
yes,
And
yeah, and
that's a
and
great gift.
yes, and I do love sharing how they can be intuitive too. I love empowering people with that as a tool.
Absolutely.
So they'll ask me a lot of questions about that, about my intuitive abilities, and I'm happy to share. I'm usually very glad, when people are asking about that, because that to me is a sign that they're like, okay, I get it. I need to go within, I need to figure out how to hear that stuff. So that to me is a great sign, that they're
Wow.
opening up.
And just for me talking to you, uh, I can I can already see that you have found your purpose in life, your passion in life. Not saying that there won't be some other questions or some, different things and adversities here, but where you're headed. I mean, the right path. You found your gift that the universe has given you, and that's to do what you're doing, and to pour out into other people. And that's amazing. And you're trusting the process and knowing that no matter what, everything is, like I said at the beginning, is unfolding exactly as it's supposed to, and you're embracing that. And I just want to commend you for that, because that shows that energy, like people are telling you, is real. It radiates from you. that
Thank
you're
you.
just at peace with yourself. You're at peace with your decisions. You're at peace with your journey. And that's amazing. And that shows. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I believe that's just beautiful. It's awesome.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that.
Right.
But I do struggle like everyone,
Right.
you know,
Right.
with purpose. And I find that when I am struggling, a lot of times that means I'm evolving, you know, like there's a next step coming.
Bingo. I was about to
Yeah.
say bingo. That's right. When you're struggling, it's because
Yes.
it's showing you something to get you to the next level. You're ready. It might not be something that we want or desire,
Yeah.
but you're looking at it that way, and that's the way it's always going to go. That means you're going to be a better person every time, every single time. And see, you just lit a spark in me, because I've heard even I have to give a testimony even from, I won't say the person's name, but a person that's close to me and my family would always tell me, I am tired of going through these things. I just want my life to just be calm and peaceful. And
I know, like,
yeah, they told me that for years. And I said, no. And they thought I was crazy for saying this. I said, that stuff that you're going through, I said, embrace it like it's supposed to happen. I said, because it's going to take you. No, I don't want anything. I said, well, then that's life. And I said, when you're going through life, unless you just lock yourself in a box and just stay right there, you're going to encounter adversity. That's just part of growth, evolution in life. That's just what's going to happen. And you just have to trust that process, you know, and the more you, I believe, the more you fight, in my experience, the more you fight against that, the more you ask for more of that, you know, of that, because you're putting energy into the not wanting. So you're telling the universe, I want this, you know, because you're putting energy into it. You're, hey, you know, struggling against instead of surrendering, basically, without giving up, but surrendering, going with the flow, knowing that this is the way I'm supposed to go. And what am I supposed to learn from this? And how is this going to help me evolve, like you said, and things like that. I'm learning still to do that. And I have to catch myself sometime and say, nope, Bryon, Lou, don't start that. Relax. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. I think, you know, there's vulnerable times, you know, like when we were going through our change, our transition, where you get tired, you know, you are doing the hard work, and you're daily addressing these things that you need to address. And yeah, I hear that from my clients all the time. They're like,
absolutely,
this is hard work, you know.
It is.
They're like, they think that I'm gonna have like this magic pill that's like, oh, it's so easy, you know. But no, I mean, it's hard work to stay centered on your path. I mean, if you look at how many distractions there are in a day,
and energies and just everything,
all of it.
No, you're right. Just I'll put it in a different way. Just working on yourself it's not easy, and to keep doing, you know, this all the time, it's not easy, but it's necessary. You know, it is, and it's fulfilling, and I wouldn't trade it. You know,
no, I think that's the thing. It's like I am about feeling like, okay, am I doing what is good for me? What feels good for my body? What is the, you know, what is keeping me on my path? And that to me is happiness. It's like if I'm living for someone else, right? Or if I'm trying to make someone else happy, or that's when I start to get really bugged out. So, you know, for me, peace and happiness is kind of when I know I have my freedom, when I feel like I'm sovereign, you know, like when I'm really in my truth. I mean, that's when I feel at peace. So if I have to work to get that, then I'm okay.
right. And you know, to touch on something else too, a lot of times, I mean, in my experience, I'll share with you, being in your own truth, at times you can lose other people in that process because they don't understand that. You know, they don't get it. Their mindset or their consciousness does not allow them to understand. but you understand. So you have to go with your own, because I want to be careful how I say this, because I don't want to affirm, things, but I have put some distance between me and certain, family members, because of this exact thing that I'm working on myself, and the way I see things now.
Yep.
Through my own truth, they don't get it,
Yep. I got divorced
Yeah,
because
right,
of my truth, like
right,
there, and this is a constant with people I work with. It is a constant. And the family members even that come to me as a group, like they're all sitting in front of me and I'm like, you're out of alignment, because
right.
they're all bonded together, worried about each other, up in each other's stuff,
Stuff,
and
same mindset, same
yeah, and
program, limiting beliefs,
yeah, they're a jumbled mess.
fear-based
Yeah,
beliefs.
and they're all out of alignment. They all
Right,
do not know their own truth. They're all,
right.
fixated
Somebody
on each
else's truth.
other's issues. And I think that you're probably calling out something that, when family members, a lot of times they worry about you. Sometimes they have your best interest at heart,
Yes,
but they're just too much up in what you're doing, and they're sometimes worried, that you're gonna like leave them, or you're gonna, they have all these things going on too, like their past programming and all the things they're living by. And so it is one of the toughest things when I'm working with someone. It's like you have to be willing to say, I'm gonna allot this much time, to that
right,
person, or
right.
create some boundary, with them. And it's one of the hardest things for
Yeah,
people, to do. So I commend you for doing it, because it takes a lot of courage.
it does.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. And
Yeah.
what I was going to say as well, too, is like going through a transformation, of course, can be uncomfortable, but at the same time, when you're evolving and changing, it's uncomfortable for the people around you too, because
Very.
they want you to stay here.
Yeah.
They when you're moving over here or whatever, elevating, that's basically pointing at them like, okay, what are you going to do? And a lot of people don't have that courage to step outside of that box, in that narrative that they've been taught, that's deeply embedded in there. They don't know how to do it. And when you do it, you're I don't want to say posing a threat, but almost like that, posing a threat to what they think and what they've always believed. So
Yeah.
even though you're just following your own path, you're not meaning it to undermine them in any way. This is not about you. Basically, I've told people that this is not about you, or to discredit what you think, or the books you read, or the whatever, your religion or whatever. This is not about that. This is about me, and about me listening to God within me, universe within me, telling me to do this.
Yes.
And and what I've noticed is that a lot of people, that when they don't understand, they tend to want to put a negative title on what you're doing, because they don't understand. And that's been
Right.
happening throughout history. When people don't understand people, what do they call them? Witches or
Yeah.
devil or something like that, because they don't understand. They don't know what else to say. So,
Yeah, and you just brought up a great point. I mean, if somebody's watching us and going through this, I was hearing to share this. It's like the other person may think you're selfish,
right,
because you're saying, I have to listen to me.
right,
And I've been through that. I've been there with that person. And what I found was, it actually, when I was brave and I trusted what I was getting, it was coming, like you said, from God. It was coming from some higher place,
right,
and I was trusting that bravely in.
right.
And what ended up happening was, it was actually best for both of us. It was I had the courage, like, to say, we got to do something about this, like we got to make a shift, and so if that person's out there and needs to hear that, like, it's okay, you got to be brave. Trust
Yes,
that your answer is the answer for all. It's not like you're just being selfish,
right. No, and that's
yeah.
another reason why that I elaborated on this And I have in other segments too, because there are people that pose this question to me all the time and tell me how saddened and distraught they are because it seems like they're not connecting like they were to certain friends and family. And I tell them, this is not really to throw out friends or anything like that, but as your energy elevates, it is going to not connect on those same frequencies with certain people anymore. That's just the way it is. And then certain people, it's just too much for them, so they want to dumb it back down again. And I tell them, when you're ready again, to move forward and get out your own way and listen to the universe, to God, then do that. But
and I think we all do that sometimes. I think we all fall and take steps back sometimes because we're scared. And then you do that, and then what ends up happening is your outer world shows you that everything's out of alignment. So you're like, why did I do this? Why did I? And I have clients that do that. They come to me and they're like, I'm off track. I am off track. I got off track. And so that's where we bump them back. It's like bumper cars, and it's like, it's okay. It's, you're gonna veer off at times. You're gonna take steps back sometimes. Sometimes you get concerned about someone because they are struggling. And so you think, I gotta be there for them. I gotta do it for them. I gotta go through it with them. I gotta be it all. And so they'll take a break from their journey and they'll wait, and they'll go be with that person through it. And then they start to feel all kinds of off, because they're giving up their path. And then that's when a lot of times the body, I'm sure you know this, like our bodies tell us, when you're off. I mean, you cannot lie. The body will it will reveal to you, when you're off in all kinds of ways.
And that's what caused me to go through a transformation years ago, because what I was being told and what I'm supposed to be doing, and I won't get into too much detail, but what I was being told to believe and to be like this and that, it just wasn't sitting right with me anymore. It wasn't that I was being lazy in any way and didn't want to follow those certain things and do this on this day and read this and do that. It wasn't that. It just something, it was not resonating with me. And I knew there was something more.
Yeah.
And we don't have these feelings for no reason,
Right.
So as I started to really go in that direction and find this information and things that resonated with me, showing me, just opening up my awareness, I started feeling just way better, just different. And just knowing that inner peace inside of you like you say, your body, it lets you know that this is it. And it was tough at first, because I think the new energy was fighting the old energy, and it was uncomfortable at first, It was, because I think part of me was fighting to hold on to what was familiar and what was comfortable and what was safe and and no matter how toxic it was, I knew it though, it was predictable, and I was used to the rush and the chemicals that toxicity was releasing in my body. I was used to it, like addicted probably to it. So it was hard to, almost like, a drug addict. It was hard to get myself off of that.
Yep. That you're bringing up a really good point. Like, people watching this, that's the common thing I see is the attachment. That's what's really hard to break in all of this, to break that off and break that down. And that's why I really love meditation, because I feel like it slows things down, for people. So it really helps you, even if you have a hard time. Everyone has a hard time meditating. Even I've been meditating for years, but I still have a hard time doing it. But I do it because I know the value in it. And
Right.
I understand when you start doing it for a while and you start kind of using something like that as a tool, you start noticing, just like you're noticing, how something can really be almost like an attachment or an addiction
Right.
that's keeping you held back,
Right.
from evolving into the next you. And like you said, you had all these rigid things that, before, maybe all these texts and things you had to do,
Right.
and that really truly wasn't your alignment. That wasn't your truth.
Right.
So, but because someone said, like some
Right.
master somewhere, in
Right.
some book said you must do this and this and this and this and this, and
Right.
that's the way. But there are many ways to the top of the mountain, right? I mean,
Right.
that's,
It is. Yeah, exactly. You got
yeah,
to find your way. And
yep,
that's another thing I was going to say too. That's why I never um, judge or criticize somebody else's path or whatever they want to do. But what I will ask them is, do you really have peace with, genuinely have peace? Ask yourself when nobody's around and only you can, because you can say anything to me, if you genuinely have peace, is that really speaking to you? This path you're taking, is it really connecting with you, or is it what you think you need to do?
right,
I mean, is it really, are you listening, really listening? you know
yeah,
and that's all I can say.
I
I
know.
can't, and that's about it. And
Yeah,
yeah.
and that plants the seed, at least, like for a lot
Right.
of people, like, you're enlightened, and a lot of people think, they get frustrated. I hear this too. They get frustrated because they share that kind of wisdom with people,
Right.
but they feel like it goes in one ear and out the other, with people. But honestly, I say it plants the seed in a
Oh,
lot.
that's what I was gonna see. You just
Yeah,
took it out of my head. I was gonna say,
yeah,
never underestimate the power of planting seeds, because of
yes,
what you just said still got into that subconscious mind.
it
And
did.
their conscious mind might be, which is the guard, it might be fighting against it because it's unfamiliar and it's not, doesn't
Right.
sound right, but it's in there wiggling around somewhere, and it's bound to come up maybe later.
Yeah, I'm getting all tingly, so I know that's true. I
No,
mean,
it's true.
I totally believe, like, in angels and things
Right.
working,
Right.
in perfect synchronicity. So I know, like, if you're saying that to that person at that time, you can't get frustrated if they're not ready right then and there.
Yes.
It's just that they need to hear it over and
And
over and
over
over.
again.
I mean, we all know this. How many times do we have to hear something until it sinks in?
And
I'm one.
sometimes,
I'm one of the worst. It's like I got to hear it 100 times before I'm
yes.
like,
And
oh, okay.
it's not uncommon for us to be, for those that care about us, that have been through certain things, to try to help us in life by giving us some insight so that we don't have to go through it, but then we end up going through it anyway, because we didn't listen. you know just like
Exactly.
parents try to do that with kids all the time. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're lucky if the kids listen, but oftentimes they go through it themselves, and then that's when they get it. But when we plant those seeds, what I think, what I've seen happen is, you plant that seed and there's something in their life that's going to cause them to go to revert back to that seed that you said,
Yeah.
that nugget of wisdom that you put in there, and say, well, maybe
Yeah.
they were right. you know so
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. And you mentioned that too with parents and kids. A lot of times I see, when I work with a family, the kids get this fast. They
right.
get it so quickly, and they get how to shift. And then the parents are the ones that are having trouble because they attach, to all these beliefs and things they hear and all the stuff from their parents and all of it.
Old
And
mindsets. Yeah.
yeah. And so a lot of times I think what happens, and you kind of pointed this out very quickly though, but I want to make sure people get it, is that a lot of times you're living by an example. So the kid a lot of times will be the one that shifts,
Right.
and the parent sees that, and then they go, oh, like, they shifted, and that they got aligned with what they love, and they started doing it. Maybe it's okay for me.
Yeah.
So it wakes them up.
I'm optimistic, and I should probably, no, I should be saying this. I'm not going to say I shouldn't. That's where I am with my mom right now, even at this
Yeah.
age, where I've shifted, and she is has been still holding on to old
Yeah.
beliefs and doesn't get it. And I think in a way it's hard for her to realize now that I'm sharing the wisdom with her instead of her always being the wisdom bringer. I don't, she just doesn't, she hasn't learned how to deal with that
Accept
yet.
that. I know, right?
Accept it.
That's
So
another whole thing where it's like
yeah,
the older person is the
yeah,
one, that has all the wisdom. That's a whole belief,
that's a
that,
whole
yeah.
belief. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
there's
it's
so
like,
much at work, so much
yeah,
at play that like I said, we're constantly having to look at and say, is that true? Is it,
yeah.
or am
But
I
I
just
planted,
going
but,
along?
but to get to, I planted seeds though, plenty of
Yeah.
seeds, and I continue to plant them when I can.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I'm trying to force. Believe me, I'm not. But
No. And
just being
that's
who I
actually,
am is planting the seed.
that's a great point too. I
Right.
mean, if there are people watching this and they're like, I'm always the one planting the seed, no one listens. It's like you said, plant the seed and then let go.
Right. Don't
Don't be
force it.
attached. Yeah, don't be attached to, because then you're living just like they are. you're
Right.
if
And
you're
they really
attaching,
won't get it then, because you're
no,
vibrating on the same frequency as them
exactly.
by
Yes,
attacking, criticizing, trying to
yes,
push your agenda or whatever on them.
yes.
Don't do it. Just plant the little seeds.
That's
Be who
it.
you are in your new, your ever evolving, expanding consciousness, being who you are.
Mhm,
And it might be some discomfort there, but
mhm.
what's meant to happen is happening. So it
A
is what
big
it
thing
is.
too that I'd love to share is celebrating. That's a
Right.
thing that I love to teach people to do, that to give them permission to do, because they feel bad about it sometimes, like like I'm showing off, and I'm like, no, you're actually like sharing your excitement and your joy, for something. And that celebrating is probably going to emit energy. You're going to attract even more,
Right.
good things, but then you're also kind of uplifting the people around you. Like the people that are ready are going to see that, and they're going to resonate with it, and it's
Right.
going to trigger something in them to want to shift too.
Yeah. Because
So
oftentimes, like you said, it's not we're showing off. We want other people to experience this same, like you said, alignment and
yeah.
joy.
Hmm.
So we're so excited. And when you are in alignment, and um, you can't help but to express joy,
Yeah.
especially when you're talking to people like you and I are talking now. It's we're expressing joy. This is not
Yeah.
showing off. This is, you know this
Yeah.
is happiness and peace and insight and just, you know similar thought currents and just amazingness. So
Hmm.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I
So
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the little things that I hear from people that they get worried about, that
Right.
kind of stuff. Like, am I showing off? Am I selfish? And it's like, no, it's okay. That, and that's part of this process too, is the confidence, to really embody, this, and be okay with yourself as you're transitioning and you're evolving, and to
Right.
really enjoy that, don't beat yourself up because you're evolving, you
Right.
know? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So
Well,
it's
this is
good
amazing.
stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. And I'm, like I said again, I want to thank you again for being here. And I
Well,
know,
thank
like I
you.
said at the beginning of this segment, that I'm going to share the links in the description when I upload the video. But while we're here, can you share with us again your website and how to people can find you? And
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So easiest way is my website. It's bepassionateandprosper.com. And then Facebook, people, if you just put in Amanda Gatlin, you'll probably find me. I have many pages on Facebook. There is a Be Passionate and Prosper page on Facebook. So if they want to follow along on that, I share a lot of tips there, and also do live videos at times. And then on Instagram, I'm at _Mandy Gatlin, and it's MandyGatlin.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. And before we conclude this segment, are there any final closing statements, words, ideas you would like to share?
Oh, I think to sum it up, I would just like to give people permission to be brave, to honor their truth during this time, because I think this is a very challenging time for
Right.
people. So that would be the word I would say, is just really keep tuning in for your own self and honor it and trust it, and good things will come from it.
Wow. And I can attest to that. Yes.
Yeah,
Look what's come right now. This
I
is
know.
an example. Is what it's called, because I just had to say this. This is how this idea for this platform came about, is because through the trying times and just being restricted and in lockdown. I said, how can I find another way to expand and connect with people? So I said, you know what, because before I wasn't really a media present type person. I uploaded the positive music that I create, and that's it. But
Wow.
this actually, like I said, I took the adversity and just used the energy to create something amazing,
That's
within it.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Connection is so important, like you see it with everyone. We're all craving it. We want to get back,
Right.
to
Right.
that. But I think that's amazing. I think so much good. I mean, that's the thing. We see the bad, that is coming and all that with what's going on, but so much good too has come from it.
Right.
It's
And I
such
just have to say
a good
this too,
thing.
like we said before, prior to this segment, it's amazing that you're connecting with me while you're on your journey, and
Yeah.
you're in your RV with the beautiful
Yeah.
nature in the
Share it.
background. I think that's why I told you, I said, there's no way that we have to let anything disrupt this flow. I mean,
No.
this is it right here. This is perfect. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
sound and look amazing, and your
Thanks.
energy and just everything is just beautiful. And I have to thank you again for taking time out of your life, out of your journey, out of time with your husband to be on this platform and to share your beautiful energy and just passion and purpose in life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lou. I am so glad to be here and connecting with you. I think this was an amazing discussion.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to go out there and for people to hear it and for
Right.
people to connect with you, me,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, and have more conversations, about all of this. 'Cause that's how
Absolutely.
we're all growing and learning. So yeah,
Yes.
I love it.
I believe we will have more conversations and segments. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. It would be
Because you're
so
going to
fun.
continue to evolve and have new things to share and new,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Like I
want to
said
know
earlier, it's happening
whatever.
fast.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for watching, and love, appreciation to everyone. Just thank you for spending your time with us. And I know that you're going to enjoy this. I used to say, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. No, I know you're going to enjoy this, because if you're watching, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Enlightened,
Thanks so much.
empowered. Yes, enlightened, empowered, evolved. See you soon.